Have you watched the movie The Polygamist? While watching Joyce's character unfold, I could not stop thinking about the silent struggles of firstborn daughters. Now, the movie does not tell us she is the elder sibling, but inside Joyce's choices, I recognize survival patterns that I've seen in countless firstborn daughters, including those I've healed myself. Today, I'm not here to analyze a movie character. I'm here to help you recognize the patterns behind Joyce's choices. Because sometimes, God allows us to recognize our unhealed wounds through someone else's story. Throughout this video, I'm going to share 7 survival patterns I noticed in Joyce's story that many firstborn daughters quietly struggle with. And I encourage you to stay until the end, because the last pattern is the one I believe steals more firstborn daughters' peace than any other. By the end of this video, I think you'll recognize yourself in at least one of these patterns, maybe even more. Let's break it down. Hi, I'm Cynthia. I help firstborn daughters move from survival mode to intentional living so they can rediscover who they are and fulfill their role without carrying the weight. One of the saddest things I noticed was not that Joyce's marriage was falling apart. It was something much deeper. A role completely swallowed her identity. Everything became about being a wife, being this high-profile brand ambassador, saving the marriage, keeping the family together. And that's something I see in almost every firstborn daughter. We become the dependable one, the strong one, the family fixer, and we mistake those roles for our identity. Until one day, life knocks us off our feet and someone asks, "Who are you?" And we don't even know how to answer that question outside of what we do for everyone else. I know this because I've been there. But healing taught me something different. Your role is something you do. It is not who you are. This is the very first thing I help firstborn daughter rediscover. Not how to stop being responsible, but how to remember who they are beyond responsibility. Then, Joyce did something that I think many firstborn daughters secretly do every single day. When a marriage began falling apart, she didn't let anyone see the mess. Instead, she doubles down on the performance. She organizes a massive wedding anniversary party and smiles flawlessly for the cameras, just to make sure the community thinks she has it all under control. She looked composed. Meanwhile, inside everything was falling apart. If you are a firstborn daughter who will rather suffer in absolute silence just to ensure image outside look perfect, you are running this exact same script. You are choosing a flawless image of perfectionism over an authentic, peaceful life. Many elder sisters struggle with keeping the perfect image while losing their peace. But pretending to be okay does not create peace. It creates performance. You don't have to spend your life performing perfection while secretly living in survival mode. Real strength is not protecting your image. Real strength is protecting your peace. But here is where these patterns become dangerous. Throughout the movie, Joyce carried an immense amount of pain, disappointment, heartbreak, and fear. But instead of processing those emotions, she did everything she could to bury them under the rug to keep things moving. Emotions don't disappear simply because you ignore them. When you bury your feelings, they eventually mutate into chronic anxiety, physical exhaustion, and deep resentment. And that can lead to dangerous choices. Many firstborn daughters learn to do exactly the same thing in childhood. You suppressed your emotions to be strong so that you can handle responsibility that you were given. Suppressed emotions don't stay buried forever. If left unhealed, they can grow into anger, bitterness, and resentment, influencing your decisions, your relationships, and the life you build. Healing is not pretending you are okay. Healing is finally understanding those emotions and finding ways to process them in a healthy way. Firstborn daughters need to learn to process the pain instead of suppressing it. Because the pain that is processed begins to heal, but the pain that is suppressed continues to control your life. The next one hit me even harder because it's the one I see destroying so many firstborn daughters' relationships. Joyce was not just sacrificing for love. She was disappearing in the name of love. And many firstborn daughters are doing the very same thing without realizing it. She kept sacrificing again and again and again. She kept believing that if she just loved enough, endured enough, and sacrificed enough, even to the point of agreeing to share her husband, the toxic dynamic would magically change. How many firstborn daughters are doing the exact same thing in their relationships right now? You keep giving, adjusting, carrying, and hoping until one day you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize the woman looking back at you. Please hear this. Healthy love will never ask you to abandon yourself. You can love deeply and support your family without completely abandoning yourself. One of the mindset shifts firstborn daughters need to make is understanding that caring for yourself does not mean you care less about others. It simply means you've stopped abandoning yourself. The next pattern is the one that breaks my heart the most. Joyce carried the responsibility to save the marriage alone, as though the future of the marriage rested entirely on her shoulders. Many firstborn daughters live in this hyper-vigilant state every single day, carrying the weight of keeping everything together alone until they become completely exhausted. Being responsible is not bad, but when you have taken responsibilities that actually belong to other people, that is where it becomes unhealthy. You need to understand the massive difference between healthy responsibility and over-responsibility. When you believe everything depends on you, you naturally become a chronic fixer. This might be the most freeing thing you'll hear today. Because of this over-responsibility, Joyce kept trying to fix a chaotic situation that she could never truly control. Firstborn daughters usually become fixers because they have learned to link their worth to their ability of creating safety and earning love in an overwhelmed situation. You think, if I fix everything myself, things will finally change. Healing teaches us something completely different. You are called to love people, not to fix them. Some relationships don't need more of your sacrifice. They need healthy boundaries. Sometimes, healing looks like letting people be responsible for their own choices. Now, this is the lesson I wish someone had taught me years ago. In the movie, everything revolved around everyone else's need, but nothing revolved around Joyce's needs. Many firstborn daughters spend their entire lives asking, "What does everyone else need?" and almost never stop to ask, "What do I need?" I know that journey because I lived it. I used to be concerned about everyone else's needs except mine. Until one day I realized, if nothing changed, nothing would change. That was the beginning of my healing journey, a journey of rediscovering myself beyond responsibility. And that's exactly what I want for every firstborn daughter who finds this channel. Joyce's story reminds us that hidden survival patterns don't stay hidden forever. They shape our relationships, influence our decisions, and if left unhealed, can impact the people we love the most. Many of us have mistaken these patterns for our personality, but they are not your identity. They are ways you learn to survive. The good news is, what was learned can be unlearned. Healing is possible. You don't have to spend the rest of your life in survival mode. You can choose to start living intentionally. And that's the journey I want to help you take. Before you go, I'm creating something special just for firstborn daughters. The free Firstborn Daughter Mirror Assessment. It's designed to help you uncover the hidden survival patterns you may not even realize you are living with. If you would like to be among the first to take it, join the waiting list through the link in the description. Tell me in the comment, which of Joyce's patterns resonated with you the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with another firstborn daughter who needs this message. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.